Welcome, families of the class of 2029 at Pinkerton Academy. Welcome. We're so happy for you all to be joining our community. Just a few things in advance. Don't feel the need that you need to take a screenshot of every slide. Maybe you want to take a screenshot of slides you want to refer back to. But this presentation will be posted on the Pinkerton website under the current 8th graders portion of the website. And this is being streamed right now live on YouTube, and the recording will also be posted on YouTube. So you can refer back to it because there's going to be a lot of information and it can seem overwhelming at first, but you can always refer back to it. Also, to be respectful of everybody's time, what we'll do is we'll get through the entire presentation, and then we will stay and hang out in front of the stage if anybody has any individualized questions that they want to come forward and ask any of our Pinkerton personnel here. You will hear from myself. I will come back in the middle of this presentation to talk really more about academics. By the way, my name is Derek Lee. I'm the Dean of Academics here at Pinkerton Academy. We will hear from our school counseling team. We will hear from our Associate Head of School, Mr. Perez. We will hear from our Associate Deans of Students from the Freshman Academy as well, Mr. Gagnon and Mr. Rich. And we will hear from our academic departments about courses, levels, and typical pathways within the departments. So that is what is going on today. This is the first of 3 orientation events you will have at Pinkerton. The next orientation event will be January 16th, which is next Thursday here at Pinkerton. So it's called Course Night. And Course Night is an event where you come to Pinkerton and go into the Academy building, the Freshman Academy building, and we will have Pinkerton teachers and school counselors there to answer any questions you may have. You'll get to walk around the building, look at the classroom spaces. If you have a question for math, go to the math hallway and ask a math teacher. If you have a question for English, go to the English department. You have a question about what level course that you want your child to take. Feel free to ask anybody in any department that is there. All departments are represented at Course Night. And you do not have to stay from 5:30 to 8. You can come and go as you please. Maybe it's best for your family to arrive at 6:30 and leave at 7:30. Maybe it's one quick question. You want to come at 7 and leave at 7:30. That's fine as well. So it's kind of dropping in whenever is most convenient for your family. So that's the second event. That's Course Night. So on Course Night, you can park wherever that you can find parking. Some people will maybe park in front of the field house, depending upon if there's an athletic game or not going on that day. Some people will park in the senior lot across. We will have one of our security personnel at the crosswalks, helping people go across the crosswalk if you need to park in this lot right across the way. All right, and then the third orientation event is January 27th, which is Electives Information Day. That day is actually the day in between the high school's first semester and second semester. So we will not have our own Pinkerton students on campus that day. We will have some to help with the orientation event, but we're not fully in school on that day. But the middle schools are. So the middle schools will be bused from their middle schools to Pinkerton. They will meet at Pinkerton at 9 a.m. and see some of our elective offerings from CTE, Fine Arts, Junior ROTC, and World Languages. They'll go through a few rotations. We ask that everyone bring a bagged lunch that day. We will not be supplying lunch. We will be supplying some water and snacks, but students should bring a bagged lunch that day, as that's when they will be eating in our cafeterias. All right, and some of these other dates, you'll get familiar with the pink sheets that are distributed to your middle schools. Your school counseling team and your middle school's teachers will go through we'll go through them and recommend your students for certain courses and certain levels. We'll get into the levels a little bit later in this presentation, but those are the pink sheets. The deadline for families to sign those pink sheets and acknowledge that they've seen them, make sure you return those to the middle schools January 31st. If you haven't seen the pink sheets yet, don't worry. Your middle schools will be handing them out soon. Let's see. April 2nd, course verifications. That's when we send an email to all of you saying, here's the list of courses that you signed up for. If you need any changes, let us know by April 11th if you need any changes from what you selected. And then to be announced, we have Freshman Field Day in August. Our freshman associate deans of students will likely talk a little bit about what Freshman Field Day is, Freshman Orientation Day, and then Parents Information Night was on my birthday this year, so hopefully it's not on my birthday this coming late August. All right, oops. Down means forward. See, I went against my own rule on this wireless clicker. All right, so pertinent information on our website. The current 8th graders portion of the website is really a go-to spot for incoming 8th grade families, current 8th graders. And it lists our orientation events and a little bit more information on each as well. All right. And here we have our course catalog is under, you can find it in the current 8th graders portion, but you can also find it in academics and course catalog. This is our newest edition of the course catalog. We have 2 of our current welders on the cover of the catalog. We have 2 different versions of the catalog. We have the PDF, where you can go to the table of contents. If you want to go to the English department, you click on English. It'll bring you right to the English department. We also have a drop-down and filterable version. So if you wanted to see what satisfies the digital literacy credit, what courses satisfy the digital literacy credit, you can filter it and see the courses that satisfy the digital literacy credit. Because we have a lot of courses, and it can be a lot at first, but we have 2 different ways that you would like to navigate our courses. All right, let's see if I've covered everything at the beginning. All right. How many families here are sending their first child to high school, like the first child they've ever sent to high school? Raise your hand. All right. I'm going to be in a similar boat as you in about a year and a half. My oldest is a 7th grader, not in one of the sending districts, but I'm kind of in the same phase here. So I'm very familiar with what you see on an everyday basis and what you're anticipating and trying to find out about the high school experience for next year. So we're going to hear from a lot of people, and hopefully you get a lot of information. And please come with questions at course night. A little bit about Pinkerton Academy it was established a long time ago, 1814. Our enrollment is about 3,000 students. That may seem very large. However, because we are so large, we have so many different ways of students finding what they are passionate about. A lot of students find their small family, whether it's an athletic team, whether it's a performing art, junior ROTC. There are so many clubs. There are so many different opportunities here at Pinkerton Academy where people just find their people here. Okay, so 3,000 students, and we are accredited by NEASC. We are an independent public academy. I like to show this every year just to show our recently graduated seniors who are now freshmen in college. These were their top majors that they were intending on majoring in going into college. Maybe they may have changed their major. I know of one that was in my flex last year. She was a senior last year. She's a freshman this year. She already changed her major first semester, and that's fine. Business was the number 1. Medical and healthcare, we've seen it really increase substantially in the past couple of years of students choosing that as a major. Engineering, science, math, and technology, and then the social sciences. The student that I had, who actually just visited my freshman flex to talk to them, she changed from psychology to neuroscience because she took a neuroscience class for a semester and she was hooked. All right, first I would like to welcome our admissions and enrollment specialist, Miss Rosa Matos.
Thank you very much, and good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here tonight in the cold. I appreciate you coming out. As Mr. Lee just said, my name is Rosa Matos, and I am the Admissions and Enrollment Management Specialist here at Pinkerton. I did want to quickly note that any out-of-district students, those orientation events that he just noted, there are a couple different things that out-of-district students need to do. So please, it's very important that you and I communicate if you are a student out of district applying to Pinkerton, because there is just a few differences in terms of the process. So feel free to reach out to me. So I am in charge of out-of-district student applications and the pre-registration process. So I track deposits, the R3 forms, the data sheets, and then once you have completed all the applications and the forms and everything like that, then you go on to the registrar's office. But you start with me if you are indeed out of district. I also coordinate tours. Many of you, I've probably toured this around our campus, and I do shadow days. I coordinate that. So just a note about shadow days. We have currently stopped shadow days for the month of January as we are revamping the whole program. So we will reopen that program on February 1st. There will be a new application form on our website, pinkertonacademy.org/admissions. You can find that there on February 1st. And then I also coordinate the fall and spring open houses. Some of you may have come to the fall open house that we had this past September, and we are hoping to do one on May 29th here at Pinkerton Academy in the Academy building this year. And I also do other admissions events throughout the year, so stay tuned. A very quick note, for any events, you can keep checking our website under admissions. I post a lot of the events there, so that's where you can find registration forms and all of that. I'm also responsible for the Academy's Student Ambassadors Program. So this is a group of enthusiastic students who represent our school. Many of you sitting in those seats today can be in that group next year. We look to a lot of our freshmen to be Shadow Day hosts and to tour our school or tour families to come that want to come to our school. So if you are interested in that, look to, there's something called summer mailing, which I'm not sure if we're going to mention later, but it's basically during the summer a packet that comes out to freshmen that has information, various pieces of information, and one of those pieces is the Student Ambassador Program, and that's how you can sign up to be a part of that group. And it's an open application too, so if you figured that it's too early in the school year to decide, or during the summer when we ask, then you can always contact me as a student and say that you want to be a part of that. And then so the last thing I want to mention is spread the word that Pinkerton does have an application process for out-of-district students. There is tuition that involves that. There's an application process, but I'm very happy to talk to them on the phone or via email. So my contact information is here, and as Mr. Lee said, it's going to be posted later. Thank you. Oh, sorry, I have to introduce someone. Okay.
Yes, so Ms. Matos, basically, if you are friends of it, if you have families that you're friends with that are not within our districts at Pinkerton, when Ms. Matos says out of district, it means it's not from the districts that typically send to Pinkerton. That's what Rosa means by out of district. So if you have friends or families that are thinking about other high schools, feel free to give them Rosa's contact information if they're looking and wondering about Pinkerton. So. Without further ado, Associate Head of School, Mr. Mike Perez.
Good evening. I just want to welcome everyone to Pinkerton Academy. Before I start, I will say I also have a 12-year-old 7th grader, so I have one that's going to be coming here to Pinkerton. I also have a 17-year-old daughter, and if anybody has a high school daughter that's getting ready to graduate, you'll understand this when I say this. She actually regrets not coming to Pinkerton when I came. So I came last year. She regrets not coming here not because of me, of course, because again, if you have a 17-year-old daughter, you totally understand what I'm talking about. She actually regrets not coming here because of all the offerings that we actually do have and all the things that she's seen over the last year and a half of me working here. And she actually told her mom and I the other day, a couple weeks ago, she was like, you know what, I really wish that I actually ended up going to Pinkerton with you and taking advantage of what I could have taken advantage of for at least just 2 years. So your kids are coming in, year one, have 4 years. Just unbelievable the opportunities that your students have coming into the academy next year. So again, my name is Mike Perez. I'm the associate head of school here at Pinkerton Academy. It's the fancy name for school principal. So Dr. Powers, who's the head of school, he's like the superintendent of schools. And if you think about it, we have about 3,200 kids. That's actually the same size as some districts here in New Hampshire. So some districts, K through 12, have either 3,000 or some districts have less than that. There are some districts, like there's one right down the street, Litchfield, New Hampshire. They have about 1,500 to 1,600 students K through 12. So Dr. Powers is like the superintendent of schools. I'm like the school principal. So I oversee the day-to-day operations. I oversee school safety and security department. I oversee school activities, student activities. I also oversee the Stockbridge Theater and athletics. So with the athletics, we have about 36 varsity sports. Many of our sports also have sub-varsity, so a lot of them have freshmen, and then they have the JV levels as well. You can see all the different sports. I'm not going to go through all of them. One of the sports that we just added, I don't think it's up there. This will be the first year that they're competing at the athletic, is the esports. So NHIAA, who is our sanctioned organization for athletics, they have just pushed through the esports. So if any student out there is interested in esports, we actually do have a team. This will be the first official year. They competed a little bit last year. This will be the first official year that they're competing. The best part about after-school co-curriculars is we have over 60 clubs and organizations here at the Academy. And it's super easy to start one. All you have to do is you have to find an adult. If you have a club that you're interested in starting that's not here on this list, all you do is you find one of your trusted adults here on campus. They say, yeah, I'll help you out with that. You come and find me in Pinkerton Hall. There's a form that you fill out. You fill it out. More than likely, if you have an adult that will oversee it, I'm going to sign off on it. Then that club gets added to this list. Easy as that. But we have over 60 clubs here in the Academy. So again, not just academics, not just extras, but there's so much more to do after school, during flex, and we'll talk about flex later and things like that, okay? And again, I'll be here too at the end to answer any questions. And then without further ado, so this is the Academy building. If you haven't been over there, that's kind of on the other side of campus. This is where you're going to spend most of your core classes your first year, okay? And without further ado, I will introduce the two associate deans of students, or like the assistant principals of the Academy building for the freshmen. You're going to love this picture. They love to get into the holiday spirit. So I'd like to introduce Mr. Jay Gagnon and Mr. John Rich. Down goes forward.
And before I forget, obviously you probably already recognize this, but we do have a world-renowned celebrity impersonator for Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as our associate head of school. So feel free to stick around after, get pictures, and post it on social media. So like he said, I'm Jay Gagnon. This is John Rich. We're pretty much what's considered the assistant principals in the Academy building. A lot of what you... Oh, geezers. A lot of your communication with the school will be done through these awesome ladies here. Miss Dano, who's my administrative assistant, and Miss C, because it's difficult to say, is her administrative assistant, his administrative assistant. Most of your communication, like calls for attendance, honestly, probably your first go-to for questions will be through them. And they'll either direct you to us or the counselors or anybody you're going to need to talk to. So they basically run a tight ship and keep us in the right direction in our office. So those are the ladies you're going to want to get to know. Mr. Perez touched on it a little bit. The good part about the Academy building is it's a nice little transition from your 8th grade school that a lot of you guys are coming from into a big campus like this. All your core classes are going to be in one building. And we offer a lot of other services that are all going to be centralized into that building as well. So we're going to be there, the administrators, school counseling is going to be there, who you're going to hear from in a little bit. Directed study hall, the whole IT department is in that building, as well as the cafeteria they're going to eat lunch in, and a lot of academic assistant services like Math Center, Science Center, and I believe a new English Center going in soon. So everything is in one place for all these students. They're going to be going across campus for certain classes, certain electives, and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's a nice little transition from a single building school into a large campus like this. So now I believe you're going to hear from counseling. Yeah. So stick around and ask questions later if you need to. Nice to meet you all.
Good evening. My name is Kathleen Albert. I'm the Assistant Director of School Counseling. I am here tonight with Mrs. Delahanty, Ms. Johnson, two of the freshman counselors. In the freshman counseling office, we also have Ms. Martz and Mr. Gray. All four of those are freshman counselors, so they're separated by teams. Your student will have a counselor and will be assigned to a team as well. And then Ms. DeLore is our administrative assistant. As many of you have probably seen, I walked in with a dog, not typical for many high schools. So this is Luna. We actually have two pups here on campus. We have Luna and Lucy. Luna is located with me in the freshman academy, and Lucy is with Miss Larkin in the junior office. So feel free to stop by and say hi to her. And I'm going to pass it along now.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for braving the cold tonight and coming out here. I'm going to talk a little bit about the course selection process, which, believe it or not, is coming up right around the corner. It's probably hard to think of your 8th graders already picking their high school classes, but here we are. So if you haven't already, you should be getting some pink sheets from your middle school counselors. On those sheets, the 8th grade teachers are going to be making course recommendations for your rising freshman students. But if you haven't gotten those yet, again, don't worry. They should be coming out very soon. In addition to picking out your core classes, so your English, your science, your social studies, and your math classes, students will also get the opportunity to pick out their electives. Some of those can be graduation requirements, like a PE class, an art class, or a digital literacy class. But some of those can also just be classes that students are interested in. We've got a lot of unique classes that we've already touched upon, like small engines, we've got foods and nutrition, sewing, just to name a few. So lots of great options. On the flip side of that pink sheet, you'll also be able to pick backup classes. And that's really important because while we have a lot of classes here at Pinkerton, sometimes just with scheduling, we can't make everything fit into your schedule. So picking some of those backup classes can be helpful so that we can at least get your second or third pick for those elective classes. As far as credits go, to graduate from freshman year into sophomore year, you need at least 5 credits, but most students will take somewhere between 6 to 7 credits their freshman year. With 6 credits, you'll have 2 study halls per semester. With 6.5, you'll have 2 study halls one semester, 1 study hall the second semester, and then with 7 credits, you'll just have 1 study hall per semester. Definitely, talk at home about what the right balance is, or let your middle school counselors know if you have any questions about what the right balance for you might be. But study hall is a great opportunity to take advantage of several of the support centers that we've got. We've got the Math Center, the English Center, the Science Center, and directed study hall that students can take advantage of during those study hall blocks. We've touched on course night that's coming up just next week. Great opportunity to learn about different classes and ask any questions, get to see us, and see the Academy building too. And then you'll also be receiving Aspen login information soon. So February, you want to make sure those pink sheets are getting back to your middle school counselors, and then us freshman counselors are going to be coming to your middle schools to help get 8th grade students all signed up for their classes. April 2nd, those course verifications will be sent home to you all. So take a look, make sure all those classes are looking good. And if you have any questions or want to make any changes, let us know by April 11th. I'll pass on to Ms. Johnson.
Hello. So like Ms. Delahunty was talking about, we have a lot of amazing classes here at Pinkerton, and above is kind of like your roadmap to graduation. So we have the course selection guide, which is located on our website, and it's kind of like a roadmap of classes that you have to take to graduate. So as you can see, everyone is required to take an English class all 4 years, and then it just kind of goes down. You need a total of 23 credits to graduate, so make sure you are checking in with your counselors every semester, every quarter, just to make sure that you're on track. And of course, we'll be reaching out to you as well, just to make sure you're on track and talking about options for the next year. Summer events, in August, freshman field day for all the students. Field day is a fun-filled day that is a great opportunity for freshmen to come together and become more familiar with campus, get their IDs, and etc. It's an opportunity to meet everyone from all the districts that we pull in from, and kind of to go in before the first day of school. Student schedules will be available through Aspen in August, and tutorials for Aspen are also offered for the parents and guardians during field day. Transition tips for students from school counseling. Get a great start by engaging in your education. Make careful course selections, attend field day, get involved. So you make sure that you're having conversations with your middle school counselors about what courses are best for you, including what types of levels you think you'll best succeed in. Setting goals for what you want to accomplish. Developing study skills that work at home and school, and meeting with your school counselors. Request an appointment if you have any questions, email, stop in. Don't wait for us to reach out to you if you need assistance. We are here for you. We're such a big school, but the beauty of that is that we have so many resources and you are not alone, so please do not hesitate to reach out if you need anything.
All right. I'm back to talk about some things you may want to think about further down the road as you craft your freshman schedule. Also, a little bit of information about levels and credits per discipline that you need for graduation. And then some supports we have that have already been alluded to earlier, but I'll get a little bit more specific. So something for the future, we have many different honor societies on campus. We have your National Honor Society, we have your Technical Honor Society, we have the World Language Honor Society, we have a Math Honor Society, a Science Honor Society. We have a lot of honor societies. So if you want to become members of these honor societies, most memberships begin junior year. So again, further down the road, but something to keep in mind for those students who have major successes in those areas. Honors diploma. During graduation, you can achieve an honors diploma if you maintain at least a 90% cumulative GPA, take 4 advanced courses, such as advanced placement, honors, or concurrent credit. I'll get into what concurrent credit means soon. That span 3 disciplines or more. And then 2 additional advanced courses in an area of concentration. So, for example, sometimes we'll have students graduate with an honors diploma in English, math, and science and social studies. Like they qualify for all of them. So we're not making students choose which one. It's whatever ones they end up qualifying for by the end of their academic career. So that's something to look forward to if that's something you want. Let's see. The honor roll is kind of what we're familiar with, even students who are here, your parents' schooling. Honor roll is 80 and above. A high honor roll is all courses with a 90 or above, and that is, we don't have quarters, we don't have trimesters, we have just semesters. All right, and New Hampshire Scholars is also something that you can graduate with as well if you have a certain amount of credits per discipline, but there are more specific information at the New Hampshire Scholars website. And school counseling will help you with the New Hampshire Scholars piece. Another thing to consider later on down the road, really there's not many honors courses available for freshmen because we realize freshman year is a new school and we want to make sure that the students find success in their freshman year and then move on their sophomore year and they're able to pursue some more honors level classes. The only honors level classes freshmen have an opportunity to take are honors algebra 2 and potentially honors biology, but we'll get to that a little bit later because that's either done through a recommendation process or through getting a certain score on a placement test that we host here at Pinkerton Academy. But these, again, are honors and AP courses mostly for further down the road. We have about 37 honors or AP courses. AP stands for Advanced Placement. AP, Advanced Placement, are basically college courses that are offered at a high school because colleges will take a look at a student's AP score because students will take an AP class the entire year, and then they will take an AP test in May, administered by the College Board. And if they make a certain score, sometimes colleges will either A, award credit for it, or B, just let you bypass that your freshman year and enter a different course. So you may be able to get credit for your introduction to English class, and then you're able to move on a little bit quicker once you get to college. So those are the advanced placement courses available in the future. A lot of AP Physics. AP Physics 1, AP Physics 2 are algebra-based. AP Physics C, Mechanics. AP Physics C, Electricity and Magnetism, those are calculus-based. That's obviously senior year. A course I used to teach is AP Macroeconomics, AP Microeconomics. We teach that in 1 year. So students actually take 2 AP tests at the end of that and have the opportunity to potentially earn credit for 2 college classes rather than 1. So that's kind of another unique opportunity later on down the road. So again, later on down the line, but something to look forward to if that's something you want to pursue. Next, if you don't want, again, a lot of students do a blend of advanced placement and concurrent credit classes. Concurrent credit's a little bit different. It's not AP. You don't have to pass a test to earn college credit. We have partnerships with local colleges, community colleges, and four-year colleges where we offer a class that they offer on their campus. So for example, Southern New Hampshire University, we have Spanish classes that Southern New Hampshire University offers that we also offer here on campus. And that will yield a Southern New Hampshire University transcript, and it also shows up on our transcript. And they don't have to pass a test to get that credit. They'll automatically get a college transcript on it. And a lot of them are transferable to other colleges when you go on later on down the lines. We are also partnering with Manchester. We have already partnered with Manchester Community College on a bunch of existing courses, but we're even looking to expand that even further in other disciplines. CTE probably has the most concurrent credit classes in all of our departments. So 58 college classes that you could potentially choose from here at Pinkerton Academy. None of them you can start at freshman year. It's typically some, maybe you can start 10th grade, but mostly you'll find them at 11th and 12th grade. Again, some at 10th you can find. But again, these are classes that are taught during the Pinkerton schedule on Pinkerton's campus that you can earn a Pinkerton grade for and a college grade for, and college credit and high school credit at the same time. They also make sure, the college makes sure that our Pinkerton faculty meets their college professor credentials. So that's how they allow the college credit to happen. If the Pinkerton teacher teaching that class meets the college credentials of their own faculty, and our curriculum is very, very similar, almost identical, then they award the college credit. So right now, 58 college classes exist in our catalog. And you'll see in our course catalog, anything that has that icon, that graduation mortarboard cap there, that means that course is offered for concurrent credit. So that's the symbol that indicates that in our course catalog. All right, grades. I should actually get rid of the A, B, C, D, F, because we don't do letter grades, but I think I put that up there just because it's something that we're familiar with, right, in our schooling. So we grade by percentiles. Passing is a 65% or higher here at Pinkerton. Obviously, I said high honor roll is 90 and above. Honor roll is 80 and above. We also have competencies here at Pinkerton Academy. It's kind of like our grading system is traditional but hybrid. So I'll show you exactly what I mean. But first, a competency is something that represents key knowledge or skills applied within a content domain. So for example, our reading competency in our English class is that students will understand that reading effectively, you can read the rest there. We have reading, speaking, and listening. Here's an example of our English competencies: reading, research, speaking and listening, and writing. So in order to earn credit for a Pinkerton class, students need to earn a 65% or higher in the overall course grade and a 65% or higher in each competency. Back in the day, parents, guardians, when you were in school and when I was in school, right, we had homework, tests, and quizzes, right, as our categories. We have competencies as categories. It's a similar concept, but we don't have at Pinkerton right now, we don't have homework, tests, and we have homework and tests and quizzes, but we don't report them as categories. Our categories that we report are the different competencies. So again, a 65% or higher in each competency, and a 65% or higher in the overall course grade. So basically, if I'm taking an English class and I have a reading assignment, it's going in the reading category, right? If I am doing an essay, that grade is going in the writing competency category. So very similar to homework, tests, and quizzes, only we have competency categories. The software we use for grades is Aspen. Google Classroom is our online student learning system where student activities and assignments are submitted and posted there. Moving on to levels. So levels are determined in many different ways. Your 8th grade teachers know your students very well, and they'll make their recommendations for certain levels, and they know Pinkerton very well. Students' middle school performance plays a role. Standardized test scores can be used as a reference as well. So, like, for example, our A-level courses, that would be your accelerated level. So if you are in an A-level course, in your standardized testing, you're probably performing at proficient with distinction for those who have looked at the New Hampshire SAS results of your student. Again, it doesn't mean that if your student's proficient, they can't do A-level. It doesn't mean that. It's just another point of reference, okay? Because we have a lot of students who did proficient on SAS that are also in the A-level as well. The Pinkerton Honors STEM screening test. For those who want to potentially enter Honors Algebra 2, and maybe even Honors Biology, the STEM screening test is either on February 4th or February 5th. You can go to whichever date works best for your family, and the test is at 4 p.m. in the Academy Building Lecture Hall. So if you're interested in that, this may be a slide to go back to. And then parent and student choice, accepted courses and prerequisites. So information about certain levels of classes. Our explorations level, that will be determined by your student's special education team, if that is appropriate for the student. C level, those are for community college and career preparation, primarily the C level classes. Basic skills and fundamentals. A lot of homework is completed in class and not out of class. B level is probably the most popular level that we have at Pinkerton, is your standard college prep. So it's your standard college prep level for 4-year universities and 2-year universities as well. Homework completed in class and at home most nights, and you should be able to study for tests and quizzes independently. Again, B level is your basic, your college prep level. A, you can think A level A, accelerated. Those are for 4-year colleges and maybe some of your more competitive colleges, if that is a future goal of yours. Nightly homework, you're expected to have a lot of initiative as well. And it's quicker paced than the B or C level classes as well. All right. Class standing requirements. To become a sophomore after your freshman year is all said and done, you need to have earned at least 5 credits. To become a junior, 10, and to become a senior, 16. So credit-wise, those are the benchmarks you need to make in order to progress to the next year. Graduation requirements. So the current freshmen, including your students as well, will be in the 23 credit area. We have our current sophomores through seniors doing the 22 credit route there. We have 23 credits required for graduation, 3 credits in math, although we require 3 credits in math. According to the state, you have to be enrolled in a math-related course all 4 years of high school. So for example, you get to your senior year, you don't necessarily have to take a course in the math department. You could maybe take a science course that is math-related. We have a whole list of math-related courses in the course catalog, CTE, science, some even social studies courses that are math-related, okay? So again, 3 credits are required for graduation, but you must take a math-related course each year you're in high school. English, 4 credits, science, it needs to be a physical science, a biology, and then a 3rd science elective. Our most popular 3rd science elective when students get to their junior, senior year is forensic science. We have 2 different semesters of forensics. Students love it. Social studies, 3 credits are required for graduation. Government and world history is freshman year. Economics, sophomore year, U.S. history, junior year, and then at least a semester elective of choice. Your senior, a lot of our seniors take psychology, which is a full year, so they fully exceed that 3 credit. A full credit of PE is required for graduation, a half credit of health. So PE 1, a lot of freshmen typically take PE 1 their freshman year. Digital literacy, that's for those of us who went to school 20-something years ago, that's your computer credit. So digital literacy and PE 1 are typically done freshman year. They don't have to be, but are typically done freshman year and taken care of. Personal financial literacy, that's a relatively new requirement that we have put in. That is usually, we have 8 different options at Pinkerton to fulfill that requirement. That's typically done 10th through 12th grade, as they're getting closer to maybe even working a job or approaching getting a job, a part-time job while they are in school. And then 7 credits of electives of your choosing. This is the beauty of a large school and economies of scale, finding your passion. As you'll see when the academic departments talk, there's a lot to choose from. And it's just as worthwhile to find out what you don't like than what you like as well. Like, oh, I thought I was interested in this, but I'm not. But I actually am interested in what I never anticipated I'd be interested in. So both are very valuable. This was the high school planner that school counseling referenced. It's available on our website, on our course catalog portion of our website. So if you wanted to see a copy of this and make a copy, go to our course catalog portion of our website, and you can start looking through our catalog and planning it out as a family. Selecting sophomore classes for freshman students. So some of our accelerated track, and again, we'll have some of our departments talk about some of the accelerated offerings. We talked about math and science, Spanish and French as well, level 2. You can start out at level 2 depending upon the amount of coursework you had at the middle school level in those languages. All right, schedules, bell schedules. So at Pinkerton Academy, we meet four class periods meet per day. We have red days and we have white days for a total of 8 periods in your schedule. That doesn't mean kids take 8 classes. Kids typically take 6 to 7 classes a semester in their schedule. So we have red and white days. 4 periods meet on red, the other 4 meet white. Then red, then white. So Monday is a red day, the next red day isn't until Wednesday. So Monday, red day, Tuesday, white day, Wednesday, red, Thursday, white, Friday, red. And it continues. They're just alternating red and white days. 4 periods, 80 minutes apiece. Okay? So semester 1, this is what a schedule could look like. You could have English, physical science, American government. I put American government / lunch because you could have your government class and then go to lunch and then go to the study hall. So that's why I put the / lunch. Period 4, study hall. And then the next day on Tuesday, the white day, I'll have phys ed, study hall, math, and then Spanish. Now, as you see, semester 1, the student had 6 classes. Semester 2, the student has 7 classes. Depends what you sign up for. This could happen. English, physical science, study hall, world history, computer applications, art, math, and Spanish. This will give a breakdown of what a red and white day might look like. So on a red day, a student might have English, physical science, American government, and study hall. And then the following day, they'd have phys ed, study hall, math, and Spanish. So for example, if they had English, if red was a Monday and they had English on a Monday, their homework wouldn't be due until the next time red meets, which is Wednesday. If Tuesday was the white day and they had math homework, the math homework wouldn't be due till Thursday. The next day, the white day meets. So that's how the red and white days work. Oops. All right, academic supports we have available. First thing I'm going to talk about is Flex. So Flex is kind of a combination of a few things, a combination of advisory blended with in-school academic assistance. So almost just about every educator has a Flex here at Pinkerton Academy. I don't teach a class because I'm an administrator. However, I do have a Flex. Right now I have a freshman Flex of 13 students. I will be with these 13 students until they graduate. I just sent a group of students off at graduation in June, and it was so sad, such a sad but a happy time, because I spent so much time with them, saw them every day, went through things like when they got their driver's license, their first fender bender, they started applying to colleges. I went through all of that with them. And it was just fantastic to develop that relationship with a trusted adult as they go through their high school experience. And if they had any questions or anything, I was there to help them. So I have a freshman Flex group this year. I meet with them every Monday. They come to what we call homeroom, all 13 of them. However, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, they now have the opportunity to go see a teacher. Maybe they need help from or have a question about one of their classes, or they could remain with me. Totally up to them what they want to do with their time. We have a flexible scheduling software. So on Monday, I will call each student up one by one. How are you doing in your classes? Look at their grades. Do you have an upcoming test? Maybe on Thursday. Oh, maybe you should go see your math teacher on Wednesday to help you study for the next test. So what they do is they go back to their seat. They'll use a flexible scheduling software and sign themselves up to see their math teacher so that the math teacher knows to expect them coming on Thursday. Okay? So again, it's a blend of like advisory style, that relationship with one trusted adult throughout your high school career, and then the academic assistance when they need it during school. Before we had Flex, the only time students could get academic assistance was either before school at like 6:45 in the morning or after school. And you know how that is with rides. If you live in Hooksett and trying to pick a student up after school, you'd rather them take the bus home. So this Flex meets 33 minutes every single day. So it's nothing extra they have to schedule. Every student gets flex 33 minutes a day. It's between periods 1 and 2 every day. Math Center, that is open all day long. So if they have a study hall, they can sign into the Math Center and maybe get a concept explained to them in a different way. Maybe it clicks with them. We also have an English Center, a Science Center. Similar concept as the Math Center. Directed study is for students who have trouble organizing, prioritizing, completing tasks on time. Okay? So any parent could ask the school counselor to refer them. A school counselor could refer them. A teacher could refer them. A kid could ask to do it. I have one of my freshmen in my flex has been enrolled in directed study from day 1 of her freshman year, and she's had tremendous success. And the directed study hall facilitator is like, okay, you're doing well, so do you want to go back to a study hall? She goes, no, I want to stay here. So she finds it works for her, and she's developed a system that works for her. Again, the goal is to eventually the gradual release of responsibility after those executive skills are taught. Chalk Talk. Chalk Talk is a program we have where if a student gets a concussion, either on the athletic field or even at home, it's that whole return to learn mentality, right? So like typically it was done in athletics for return to play, like it's a slow reintegration into the team. Chalk Talk is returning to learning, because as we know, like student comes back from a concussion, it doesn't make sense to put them into their full schedule after just 1 day of rest. It's a gradual reintegration into their classes with support from somebody. So Chalk Talk. And then Bright Paths is the same thing. It's a return to learn program, but not for concussions, but for any sort of long-term medical absence. They've been out a long time. They come back to school, supporting them in their return to school. Transition tips for students from current Pinkerton students. Be yourself. You make the best friends when you just be who you are. Take classes that interest you, not the ones everyone else is taking. Join clubs or organizations to meet people that will help make the school feel smaller and create a family-like environment. Make use of your resources. Writing Center, Math Center, Extra Help, Directed Study. They all make a big difference if you're having trouble. Don't be afraid to ask your teachers and counselors for help. You're not alone in this school, and there are so many outlets for support. As far as managing your work, students say plan your week, both in and outside of school. Limit screen time and do work first. So I have a 7th grader. I make him put his phone in a totally separate floor or a room when he's doing his homework. So that cannot be a temptation for him. Put your phone over there until your work is done. Developing those habits as early as you can will help in the long run. Leave Friday and Saturday. This was a recent one. So I talked about that student that went off to college that switched majors from psychology to neuroscience. She's at Bates College right now. And she said she visited my freshman flex on this past Monday. So she gave advice about course selection as they go into their sophomore year and talked about college a little bit. She said, I carry this with me through my Pinkerton career, and she goes, I still do it in college. She goes, I leave Friday and Saturday for me, and then Sunday I start doing some schoolwork again. And this is one of our top performing students, and tremendous work ethic, did a lot of work, but she was still able to keep Friday and Saturday for herself. So really segmenting the time and intentionally doing that pays off big time. And using time during school, studies, or flex to get your work done. Students are going to be learning those skills to use their time wisely. They suffer the consequences if they don't use their time wisely, right? If they use their time wisely, they'll see the benefits of that. All right, so we're going to hear from the academic departments now as they get a little bit more specific into their departments. So we're first going to hear from the English department, Miss Emily Carr.
Hey everybody, thanks for being here tonight. So my name is Emily Carr. I am a 13-ish year veteran teacher here at Pinkerton Academy in the English department. I'm also an alum I graduated in 94. Expect more from 94. I've been tasked tonight with giving you a brief overview of the English Program of Studies, which is an overview of all 4 years of English, and then we'll talk a little bit about freshman English specifically. As mentioned before, English is the only required core course for all 4 years, which of course means that it's not the only subject that they will learn, that your students will learn, but it is the most important. Just kidding. Over the course of 4 years, your student will learn the following core skills: to be able to write effectively in narrative, informative, and argumentative modes, to improve their grammar and usage skills in both English, which helps with other languages as well, to develop argumentation and speaking and listening with understanding and empathy, to read independently and to foster a lifelong love of reading. That's something we've really worked hard to restore. Understand and appreciate a variety of literary and informational texts, and to build their vocabulary knowledge. Again, this is an overview of the 4 years of English studies here at Pinkerton. Now, if I can get the slide. Nope. There it is. Yeah. Okay. So freshman English. For the 13 years I've been teaching here, 95% of that has been teaching freshman English. So it's very dear to my heart. I look forward to meeting many of your students next year, hopefully having them in my class. Freshman English is taught as 2 semester-long courses, but it feels like a full year course. For the most part, most students have the same English teacher all year. There are a few exceptions with significant schedule changes that a student might have, but for the most part, most freshman students are with their freshman English teacher all year. English is offered at the A, B, C, and explorations levels, and you can find out more about how those levels differentiate in English when you come to course night. The English program with freshman English is a series of units, and those units are taught with like an overarching theme. We call them enduring understandings. They're big ideas or themes or universal truths. And the one for first semester is with power comes responsibility. That's sort of our theme. And the one for second semester is choices have consequences. Another great theme. And what we do with those themes is we kind of weave them through, not necessarily every day, but they serve as like this touchstone, and they allow us as teachers to work with students to make connections to their lives so that what they're learning is relevant to them. And as you can see on the slide, if you drop down to the last bullet point, we're still reading some of those canon classics that y'all read in high school, like The Odyssey, To Kill a Mockingbird, Romeo and Juliet, and a series of short stories, and which might vary slightly from teacher to teacher. But those are the kind of core literature pieces that we do, and some of them are fairly ancient. But we use these overarching enduring understandings, power and responsibility, that idea, or choices of consequences. And we use that to kind of anchor our learning and allow students to make connections so that it resonates with them and it means something to them. So that's pretty much an overview of English and freshman English. So who am I passing off to? To world language. Okay, thank you guys. I'm happy to answer any questions afterwards as well that you might have about English.
Hello. Now, where is my clicker? Let's make sure I make this work. works. Perfect. My name is Lindsay Mitchell. I am the lead teacher for the World Language Department. I also typically teach Spanish 2, French 2, and Spanish 3. So I'm one of the teachers that your child may see if they take Spanish or French. So we are very lucky to have a very robust world language program. We have ASL, French, German, Latin, and Spanish. The classes you see in yellow, those are the one that your student may take. That's ASL 1, French 1 or French 2, German 1, Latin 1, and Spanish 1 or Spanish 2. Now, depending on how many years your child has had, they will either, if they're choosing Spanish or French, they will either start at the year 1 or year 2. So year 2, there's 2 options. There's A, which is an accelerated class, and then there's a B, which is not quite as quickly paced. They're going to be more willing to review basic concepts and things like that. So what I would say is I get many questions of, which one should I take? Go with the teacher's recommendation. That's the biggest thing I say, is you do want to be challenged. The level 1 classes, the 1Bs are for true beginners, someone who has never seen the language before. The A is for someone who's seen it, but maybe didn't get enough years at the middle school level. You can always go into a level 2 class, and if it's too hard, you can always go down to the level 1. We do have a bunch of opportunities. I think this should be on the next slide. Yes. So as you all know, universities often do like to see about 2 to 3 years of a world language. It helps build global and cultural understanding and defend against degenerative brain diseases. Interesting. There's a lot of travel opportunities to Costa Rica, France, Germany, Italy, England, Spain, Quebec, and New York. We actually have a 2-week immersion program with Costa Rica every 2 years. And we also have an exchange program through Spain, where some of our students go and stay for 2 weeks in Spain, and the kids in Spain come to stay with us. In addition, which has been mentioned earlier, you can get college credit for some of our level 4 classes if you're in a 4A. So that would be mainly for juniors and seniors. And finally, we now do offer the seal by literacy through our program. And what that means is you can graduate with a certificate saying you are considered bilingual. And that is offered to those who are in our level 4 classes. So it's a great opportunity for many students. To achieve that, you would want to start at year 1 at the very least, at your freshman level. I will also be here after if you have any questions, so feel free to come on down. And it looks like math is next.
Hello, my name is Melissa Roars, and I'll be representing the math department with...
I'm Becky Hanna. I also teach math.
So we just have the one slide which gives you kind of at the top possible freshman courses and then the courses that you might take if you stay on that track. But we came up with a few questions that we think you might have that we can answer for you tonight. So my first question is for Ms. Hanna. What class might I go into as a freshman next year?
Well, just like they said with world language, really go with your teacher recommendations. They really know your skills, your skill level, and where you should be. So follow their lead. We also do offer some opportunities for students to take, again, things at different levels, with algebra being most of your classes you'll be taking, and then there'll be some students that'll be taking explorations and numbers concepts in pre-algebra. Both of those second classes are ways to help get kids to have their skills they need to hopefully take Algebra 1 before they graduate.
Follow-up question. What are the differences in each level?
Well, most of the Algebra 1 classes all cover the exact same core information and topics, etc., just at different speeds with different supports. So again, we have A, B, and C. Again, Algebra 1, they're all going to cover pretty much the same topics at different paces. If you're taking one of the explorations classes, again, they're lower level and have much more supports in the classroom. With the last opportunity is the honors algebra 2 class. Again, has to be teacher recommended, and then they noted earlier that you can take the test. If you're not recommended by your teacher, you can come to the school and you can take a test to see if you can get into our honors algebra 2 class as a freshman. So a question for you. Where'd it go? That's all right. All right, so again, other things for that with the leveling is really important is to come to course night. We have a lot of math teachers that will be here on June 16th, and you'll want to make sure that you come there and speak with the teachers, and they can really talk about each of the freshmen different levels, A, B, and C. There'll be teachers from each of the levels there, and they can really give you a window into what it is in those classes.
All right, so I'll speak a little bit to the Math Center. Mr. Lee already mentioned it, but if you are, getting nervous about a test coming up or you're struggling on your homework, the Math Center is staffed by Pinkerton math teachers as well as some of our Honor Society tutors, and you can come in during your study hall and ask questions, get help, get ready to study, and then if you want to go to Flex as well, again, that's another great opportunity to get extra help in math. The Math Center is also open most mornings and after school if you're able to stay. I have another question for you. What if I did all of those things and I'm still struggling in Algebra 1?
Well, with all the different levels we have, your first thing would be to see if you can make a level change. If you're in A level and you're feeling overwhelmed, you've gone to Flex, you've asked for help, you can go to B level. You'd go to guidance and try to make a level change. If you're in C level, though, we have a new course that we're offering this coming fall. So if you're in a C level Algebra 1 class, we're offering an academic skills class, which is going to be a quarter credit. It would take place during your study hall, and we're going to be dividing the study hall into an academic skill part for about 40 minutes, and then 40 minutes of a regular study hall. So again, Algebra 1C is going to have that extra opportunity to meet with a math teacher. The math teachers are going to be giving students skills and also going over the current work they're working on in their Algebra 1 class. And again, it's not just a place you're going to go, you're also going to be able to get some credit while you're there. So if you're looking for that as an option, you can get recommended from your 8th grade teachers, also can recommend you and start you right off in the freshman at the beginning of the year in that if you're in the Algebra 1C group. So there are a lot of ways to move around. I think I have one more question for you. Let me check. Say again? Oh, what supplies should we bring for math in our freshman year?
That's a great question. So if you are in Algebra 1, you should purchase a scientific calculator, and that is different from a graphing calculator. If you're in Honors Algebra 2, you'll want to purchase a TI-84 graphing calculator. But in Algebra 1, you'll get by just fine with a scientific calculator, and then sometimes teachers might make other recommendations for supplies that you'll need. And my last question for you, Miss Hannah, is what extracurricular activities does Pinkerton involve around math?
Well, it's definitely a place you should get involved, not just in math, but anywhere across campus. I'm not an alumni of Pinkerton, but I am a mother of 3 children that have all graduated from Pinkerton, and they all had different paths here. And I came here to teach after they graduated, and I've enjoyed it. And they definitely got involved in different things around campus. But we offer 2 things in math. We offer an honor society for those students that met the criteria they showed earlier of having a 90 or above in all your math classes and an 80 or above in all your courses. That starts sophomore year. What does that help for you as freshmen? Well, our students in this great honor program offer tutoring. They work in our math center both before school, during school, and after school, and they work to tutor with other students who need help. You also can sign up to try to get a tutor to help you one-on-one at other times during the day through the Honor Society. Another great thing that I was part of is our math team. We have a math team here which challenges students to do harder, more difficult math problems. They work in a small group. They meet twice a month, and they go to meets around southern New Hampshire. And they meet with, I think there's 6 other towns and districts that go to the math meets, and they compete on different problems from geometry, algebra, statistics, all sorts of things. And their highlight of the year is when we go up, usually it's at Plymouth State. Once at the end of the year, they get to go to the New Hampshire State Math Meet and go against all other people across the state. So it's a really fun thing to do if you're interested in math and like to do math problems. So join the math team.
All right, so if you have any other questions, we'll be down front, but also please come to course night on January 16th. And if you do need to reach out to our Associate Dean of Academics, her name is Jenny Walker, and you can find her email on the website. So next, I believe, is science. Come on down.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Hello, everybody. I'm Susan Matramalo. I'm a science teacher here at Pinkerton. I focused my career on teaching freshman science, so I'm looking forward to meeting all of you next year. So we just have one slide as well here. Students need 3 credits of science to graduate, and most students start off freshman year with what's called up here JTPS, which is an abbreviation for a very long name, which is Journey Through Physical Science. And most students start off on that path. And what the Journey Through Physical Science course is, it's 2 semesters that are linked, but 2 separate courses. One focuses on chemistry topics, and the second focuses on physics topics. So they're introductory chemistry course and an introductory physics course that most students take. The second option is only available to students who are bypassing the Algebra 1 course in math. And if you are one of those students, then you may have the option of taking biology freshman year. And biology is a required class for graduation, so that is a course that you would take typically sophomore year, but again, some students will take it their freshman year. So if you do bypass the Algebra 1, again, you would need a strong recommendation from your 8th grade teacher and or taking a placement test, which is held the same time as the math placement test for students who are interested in doing the advanced math. Let's see, what else do I want to say about our course? So getting back to the physical science course, we offer 4 levels for that class. We have an A level, a B level, the C level, and explorations level. All 4 courses deal with the same topics, chemistry topics first semester, physics topics second semester, and again, it's really just the level of depth, the pacing, the expectations in terms of homework that vary between the different levels. But again, all the same topics, just differences in how the course is taught, really. We do have competencies in our science course, as all Pinkerton classes do, and we stress students learning science skills such as modeling, arguing with scientific data, analyzing data, designing solutions. So some of those are the skills that we're looking for students to graduate with. I mean, you can kind of follow the course. As it was mentioned, students need 3 years to graduate. Lots of electives. Once 1 year of a physical science is met and 1 year of a biology is met, the 3rd year of science is an elective. If you are going a traditional college, 4-year college route, most of those students will take a chemistry their junior year, or their third year, and then a physics their senior year. That is the more traditional route that many of us recognize. But there are plenty of options for other students, things like astronomy and, as was mentioned before, forensics, which is a highly popular course. We have field biology. We have a great biotechnology course for students. We have an Odyssey course, which is an unleveled kind of course with some really cool different units on really cool different science topics that cover all the different disciplines in science and anatomy, and again, all those AP and honors courses. So I will be here to answer any questions if you've got questions at the end, and I hope you do send your questions our way or come to course night, and we'll be happy to help you with anything that you need help with. Okay. Not sure who's next. Okay. Social studies.
All right, my name is Norm Kerman. I'm one of the social studies teachers here at Pinkerton. I teach predominantly freshmen. This is Ms. Fumarola. She also teaches predominantly freshmen as well. We are both Pinkerton alumni. We both also then went on to UNH. We liked it so much here at Pinkerton that we decided to come back. So really quickly, I'm gonna run through the social studies flow of classes that we offer here at Pinkerton. There is some choice in the matter as you kind of progress through into senior year, but there are certainly some required classes that I just want to briefly highlight. So if you look up on the screen, freshman year, there are 2 required courses for graduation. They are both 1 semester long. Those classes are American Government and World History. Both are, again, 1 semester long, but they are required and generally taken freshman year. Sophomore year, the required course is economics. Again, it is a half-year course. There is no secondary required course for sophomore year, which means that you can start taking elective courses if you would like to. But again, you're not required to take anything additional your sophomore year. Junior year is a U.S. history course. It is a full year, 1 credit course. That is a U.S. history course. And then senior year, there is no official required course for social studies. So you have lots of elective opportunities that we offer. We offer unleveled courses. We offer leveled courses, honors and AP level courses as well. The required courses add up to 2.5 credits of social studies. Students do need 3 credits total for graduation, which means at some point in your Pinkerton career, you will be required to take one of our numerous elective courses. So you can sort of tailor your interests to best fit what you want to take. Okay, mind flipping? Thank you. When it comes to the actual freshman required courses that you will end up taking, 1 semester will be a world history course, 1 will be an American government class. The world history course is actually brand new this year. It's something that we've been designing over the last couple of years, and it's brand new this year. It comes in a variety of levels, so A, B, and C, as well as explorations. The goal of the class is to give students as much context about our world as possible in a 13-ish week semester. We cover about 10,000 years of history from all corners of the world in about 13 weeks. So it moves pretty quickly. There's lots of work, but I think students are receiving it pretty well. So I think it's generally liked quite a bit. Ms. Fumarola teaches predominantly American government, and she can speak to that a little bit more.
Yeah, so I teach both American government and a little bit of world. So I'm just going to talk about American government. So that is 1 semester course. Like he said previously, you will take world history and then you'll take American government within your freshman year. So for American government, you have 5 different units that you will be doing throughout that semester. And those will also be your 5 competencies. So what you will be focusing on is essentially our 3 branches of government: the Constitution, New Hampshire and its government, as well as different foreign policies, and how it is to be a citizen, what you'll do as a citizen, and what are your rights as a citizen. One thing I do want to mention real quick is you do have to take the citizenship test that is required for you all within your 4 years. You must pass it. That's a New Hampshire law. So that is 128 questions. Those questions will be covered in class, so you should be aware of those answers already. We have study guides. We will be preparing you throughout the semester. But as that is coming up, I just want you to be aware, your freshman year, you will be taking that test. You need a 70% or better. If you do not pass your freshman year, you will have a chance your sophomore, junior, or senior year to pass that test. If you have any questions about that, please feel free to ask me. Also, if you're here next week, you can ask any of the other social studies teachers you may see. I think that's about all I have for you. So if you need anything, let us know. Next up, we have CTE.
Good evening. My name is Jennifer Haskins. I am the Associate Dean of Academics for Career and Technical Education. And this slide here gives an overview of what career and technical education is and the opportunities that students have here to try different pathways. As Mr. Lee said, finding out what you don't like is just as important as finding out what you do like. Within this graphic here, you'll see that we have about 20 different pathways that students can explore. All of these pathways have concurrent enrollment opportunities. So most students take these starting their sophomore year because you're not eligible as a freshman to get concurrent enrollment through their senior year. Within each of these pathways, students have the opportunity to do a bunch of things. One of them is to be a part of a career and technical student organization, which is a student organization or a club that focuses specifically on that pathway that they're interested in. They have the opportunity to run on-campus student enterprises. Like you see in that middle column, we have Astro Style, which is a cosmetology salon that's open on Fridays to the public, or Pet Palace, which is open Monday through Thursday for animals to come in and do grooming. Academy Auto, there's a whole list there. They also have the opportunity to earn industry-recognized credentials. So we have students that will graduate with their LNA license, their EMT license, their OSHA 10, OSHA 30, some of them, and really just have some strong foundations, whether they choose to go directly into the workforce or if they choose to continue on in their education and do a four-year college. As a freshman, it's super important that you take some of the time when you're choosing your classes to test out some of our exploratory classes, which is what this slide shows. We have exploratory or introduction, we call them career discovery classes, in almost every sector of this cluster. All of these are available to freshmen. They are predominantly half-year courses, so they fit very nicely against a PE or your fine arts class if you're choosing that to be one of your elective classes. All of these are outside of the freshman academy, so your student will be leaving the freshman academy to another building on campus to try these out. But these are the classes that you try out, and if you like them, we have others that you can continue on in. I'll be down here at front at the end of the night if you have questions. We also, everyone's unplugging next week, but we also will be here next week with all of the teachers that we have teaching these programs if you have questions for that. Next. So when we talk about all the opportunities, it's how do you fit it in? I know Mr. Lee talked about digital literacy earlier. The top half of this graphic shows all of the courses that meet that half credit graduation requirement. So one of these will meet that graduation requirement. So if you're interested in being an architect, you know, maybe you take Intro to CAD or Intro to Architectural Drawing, meeting your digital literacy requirement and getting a taste of whether that is something that you're interested in. The other requirement Mr. Lee talked about earlier was the personal financial literacy requirement. This graphic is in the course catalog, but those are the classes that he spoke about earlier that do meet this graduation requirement. And most of these, like he said also, we'll be taking probably your sophomore year. But Foundations of Business is available to freshmen. If you think you want to go into business, whether it's accounting, marketing, finance, entrepreneurship, that foundations class kind of gives you a broad introduction to the pathways that we have within our program. And I think next is junior ROTC.
Is it the down button?
Yeah, but it's that button right there, that third one down.
All right, hopefully it works. How you guys doing? Good? Ready to get out of here? Yeah, not so fast. All right, I'm Chief Abear. I'm with Junior ROTC. I'm one of the instructors. The other instructor's Colonel McNulty. He's sitting down there. I've been teaching about 13 years. I did 29 years in the service, decided I wanted to be a teacher. And so lo and behold, Junior ROTC was a place for me to be. The program's been here since 2002. Right now we have 159 students. As you can see, the biggest thing I can tell you about Junior ROTC is we're not here to get your child into the military. Our whole goal with Junior ROTC is to set them up for life outside of high school, all right, whether they're going to be in the workforce, go to college, or going in the military. If they're going to go in the military, it's great. We can help them out. If they're going to go in the workforce, it's more power to them, and we're going to help them out even more, okay? So you can see 2 years, you get a P2 related credit. It just happened about 4 or 5 years ago, and I think Ms. Haskins talked about financial, personal finance. If you stay with us after the 3rd year, you'll get a personal finance credit. So that just happened this last couple of years. It's a 4-year program. You can do 1, 2, 3, or 4 years. If you do 2 years, it'll benefit you if you join the military. You'll get 2 stripes, which is about an $800 pay raise after training. And I think this year, I was just talking to the colonel, they got a 4% pay raise, and then they did a targeted pay raise for airmen, and that's a 10% more. Again, no matter how many years you stay, there's no commitment to the military. Got it. There's a lot of leadership management opportunities in the Corps. You know, just like in the military, when you join up, first year, it's all learning about yourself. And then as you move on, you building blocks to get to your 4th year where you're leading the Corps. Trying to go through this quick so you guys don't stay around. Here's what we teach. So the first year, this is what we're going to be teaching. You know, our class is different than anybody else's because each day we're teaching something different. So like Monday and Tuesday, if you have our class on Monday and Tuesday, you're going to be learning about the history of aviation. Okay. On Wednesday, we usually do our PE, and that's where you get your PE credit, and it's every other Wednesday because it's white and red. And then Thursday and Friday, we do drill, and we do uniforms, and we do leadership. And in leadership portion, we talk about the history of Junior ROTC. We talk about the uniform. We talk about customs in the Air Force, I mean the military, and customs around the world. And we talk about physical fitness, stress, alcohol, drug abuse. And that's the first year. But the program is just not a class, okay? It is a program. We offer a lot of things outside of class, and it's all volunteer, okay? It's nothing mandatory. So you can see we have field trips for each year. So this year we weren't able to go, but we do go to Center Stratford. We'll take the first years there. That's the very first field trip they go to, and it's all about team building. The second years, we take them to the Black Hawk Squadron so they can learn about aviation career fields. The third years, which I'm getting ready to take them out, they'll go to a survival school out there across the street. We'll take them out all day. They'll build shelters, eat MREs. They like them, so we'll give them to them. And they'll build fires. And the fourth year, this year they got lucky. This year, Peace Air Base they're giving them a ride on a KC-46. So they're going to be on air refueling, and they're going to watch planes air refuel. And so I'll be back. That'll be in May timeframe. And this year we weren't able to, but last year we got Civil Air Patrol orientation flights. So we were able to take 8 seniors out of Nashua, and they flew throughout New Hampshire, and they got flight time. As soon as they got airborne, the pilot gave them the stick, so you take us. So that's another benefit. And KC-46, we do have a lot of things after school. You can see we have Flight Sim Club. As a matter of fact, Ms. Haskins just got us a brand new Flight Sim computer. It's state of the art, and hopefully we're going to be able to get 4 more. We have a rocket club, we have a model club, we have a drone club, we have a robotics club. Archery, we're just starting archery this year. We're just setting it up this year, so it'll be after school on Wednesday. We have a Raiders team. It's kind of like a, what is it called, a Spartan run team. So we just started that a couple of years ago, and we'll be doing those events at the end of the year. All right, we do a lot of community service events. Right now, I think we're sitting at 25. We start off with Dairy Fest. We do all the football game color guards. We do all the parades in Derry and surrounding towns. You know, if somebody calls us and we have the time and one of us is available and we have students, we're going to take care of that. And we just we do Adopt a Highway, alternate 28, about 2 miles down. We'll do that twice a year. And the seniors just set up a food drive where they just collected, I think, about 8 boxes of food for some shelters. I think that's it. Here's some of the other things we do. Paintball, first year, right off the bat. So as soon as you get in our class, we have Dairy Fest in September, and then in October we set up a paintball trip with the freshmen. And that seems to be, that's a good opportunity for them to get to know each other, and they start bonding. And so they're usually really quiet before that, but after that, they start getting a little loud in class. We do have, so we have military ball. We have 2 socials. We have a holiday social and a Halloween social that we do. So again, it's not just a class. It's more like a family, okay? A lot of kids, we just had 2 girls just come back the other day that didn't know each other when they came to school, but they're best friends. They've been best friends since they graduated 2 years ago, and they came back to say hi to us. And I think that's it for me. And I'll be here if you have any questions. Yep.
I'm back for fine arts. So I had the pleasure of representing fine arts tonight. Our Associate Dean of Academics is Mike Adams. So if you know him, you can always let him know that you missed him. I will try to do it justice, but we have 4 main areas that freshmen can take and get their half credit in fine arts. And so I'll talk about the performing side first. So if you are already in band or chorus in your middle school, you can quickly jump right into our academy singers or concert band. If you love music, but you aren't necessarily a performer, our Roots of Rock and Roll class is a great classroom-based music class. If you love the guitar, if you can already play it, or you have always wanted to play it, we also offer Guitar for Everyone. It says it's under the intermediate level, but our teacher is inviting all levels of experience. So it's a great class, and it's gaining a lot of popularity. Some of the ensembles in the advanced level are offered by audition only or after school. So again, if you've been a performer for a long time, you could still try to audition your freshman year. And then we also have our dance program. Dance 1 is open to any level of experience. And if you've already earned your PE 1 credit, you could choose to have that count towards your PE 2 credit, and then you could take another fine arts course for your fine arts credit. After that, you could, of course, take any of the intermediate or advanced level dance classes. You can also waive into Dance 2 if you have experience. And then our theater classes, we have 2 intro theater classes, as well as 2 intermediate level and 1 advanced level theater class. And then, of course, the Pinkerton Players is a huge club that puts on a few performances every year. And we've got our spring musical coming up in March. For visual arts, all of the intro courses are going to cover the elements and principles of art and design, and really the only difference is going to be how you learn it. So you could be learning it on a computer, If you like the graphics, you could be focused more on painting and drawing. If you like taking photos, you can take digital photography. I'll switch to that slide just so you can see. And then we also have ceramics. So if you like working with your hands, the clay is a great choice there as well. The intermediate levels, again, we have so many to offer, and some of the classes count as your digital literacy credit. So I know I sound like a broken record, but it's a great way to get that. And then you can also take a half credit in another area of the fine arts department. And honest, I'm in that department all the time, and most students do not just take half a credit. So many of them stick around for a long time. We're very proud of our fine arts department and just feel like we offer every student something, a place to belong, and a place to express themselves. And so we're excited to see you in the fall and on electives day. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Josh Trainer. I'm the Assistant Director of Alternative Learning at Pinkerton. So naturally, we're ending the night here talking about summer school, everyone's favorite topic. So credit advancement at Pinkerton does happen over the summer. The registration for the program actually starts tomorrow, and the registration will stay open until pretty much the Friday before we start. So you have plenty of time to register if you're interested. While I'm kind of explaining a little bit about the program, at the bottom right, there's a QR code that you can take a picture of if you already know that you're interested in the program. It should bring you right to our website, or you can just go to the website and find the program as well. So our credit advancement program is a program that offers half credit courses in the summer that work towards students earning their state and Pinkerton graduation requirements. They're all credit bearing minus one that I'll talk about, and they are created to mirror the courses that we do on campus, and they're all taught by Pinkerton staff members too. So the experience is really similar to what students would experience during the school year too. There is more information on the website too, but that's kind of just an overview. As far as how the classes look, the classes run from June 30th to July 31st. We do have 2 sessions. So we have a 7:45 to 10:45 session, and we have an 11 to 2 p.m. session. As I said, it is summer school, which I know can be a tough sell sometimes. We don't have classes on Friday, which sometimes can be a good carrot to convince your student to do it if you want them to, or if they want to. So no Friday classes, and it's 20 total classes. For our courses that we offer, we do offer Physical Education 1 and 2. Those 2 are usually the most popular. We offer Intro to Art, Digital Photography, Computer Apps for High School Success. The course that I mentioned earlier that does not count for credit is Academy Essentials. It's a non-credit course, and the function of that course is to get students used to doing some of the stuff that they'll do when they're students here at Pinkerton. They go through like, what should you do if you miss a day, or how do you log into Google Classroom, how do you email your teacher, things like that. All of the courses for the summer program and credit advancement, we need to meet the minimum class size in order to run the courses. So as far as whether or not the course will run, it kind of fluctuates. So more information about that is posted to the website, and I'll be here as well too to answer questions if you have them. It is on the alternative learning portion of the website, so the QR code will work, or you can just, I also tried it earlier, you can search the website too right in the search bar and it'll work.
All right, and if you need email addresses are found in the online directory on our website. Our phone extensions are here as well. One last piece of advice I want to leave you with is when you're choosing levels for your student, when you're talking with your middle schools, and when you maybe even have questions for our own teachers, we have different levels because we want to meet students where they're at. Maybe they have a passion and maybe they're highly skilled at writing and reading. So maybe A level for social studies and English, and maybe math is not their strong suit. Maybe it's a B-level math and science class. It's customized to whatever your students' strengths and interests are. So keep that in mind. We want students challenged, but we don't want students too much challenge, right? And we don't want students to take it easy either. So you want to find that sweet spot. So that's the most important piece. So again, the next event is January 16th, Thursday, course night. Drop in whenever your family can make it, 5:30 to 8 in the Academy building. We're open. And we will be in the front here if you have individualized questions. Thank you all for coming out tonight, and welcome class of 2029.